Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Changing Gears with your host, Chris Gear. Today, I am back with Liam Harriman. I'm going to ask him some questions. I talked to him before at his gym, Seacoast Boxing. Since then, he has had two professional boxing matches. So, I'm going to ask him some questions. So, yeah, just getting started, being where you are now, how does it feel improving your professional record to 3-0?
Uh, pretty good. Uh, I got a little more room to navigate like negotiations and where I want to go with like what I'm doing, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as ranking goes, my last fight, it wasn't a very competitive fight, so I really only moved up like one rank nationally, it's box rec, so I don't know how accurate everything is, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't do much for that. But as far as just another win on the record, so I can't complain about anything. It's better for, I guess, my word, right? So
Yeah, definitely. And I want to talk about your amateur career. So, looking back in your amateur career, how do you view it? Do you have any I asked this question before, but do you have any like unique perspective on your amateur career? What lessons did you take from your amateur career that have carried over and kind of translated well now that you're a professional? What are some of the things that you really fine-tuned because you're on a roll now. 3-0 is a pretty big step up because you did have some losses in your amateur career.
yeah, more than
Right.
win. Yeah.
So, how do you view your amateur career? Do you view it as sort of just a testing ground, to experiment,
Yep, pretty
try
much.
right,
Yeah.
just try things and just get better at, you
That's
know.
literally what my coach told me on day one. He's like, "You're gonna." I can tell just because of like he knew I was passionate about this. So like, I think with especially this sport, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mhm.
So he could tell that my will and the speed of my progression was pretty quick. So he was like, let's just throw you to the wolves in the amateurs, and then
Mhm.
whatever happens, you're going to take as a lesson is going to be. And then the other thing is, you can't really get better when you're fighting people that are worse than you. That's kind of why I've been annoyed with the pro career, because John Gruber and I had a good 6 round bout, but the
Mhm. Yep.
but the other two, I'm kind of been annoyed with the way the whole pro situation has gone, to be honest, so
Right,
far.
right.
I'm so grateful for being 3-0 and uh, being able to have the room to do what I'm doing going forward this summer and this fall, like the goals that I have. But
Yep.
at the same time, it is not. I think there's a lot better amateurs out there than there are pros. On as far as quantity, like I think there's the quality of the best pros are obviously the best of the best in the world, but as far as the amount in the ratio comparison, I'd say there's a lot more amateurs that are better than pros, and it shows earlier on, and it's really just about who sticks it out the longest. I think
Right.
who makes the decision to make it their career, because when you make the decision to make it your career, you have to sacrifice so much stuff, and it's really about who wants to sacrifice what parts of their lives that they were comfortable with before. I think
Right.
that's my biggest switch has been personally. But
Right. Like, so when how did you treat your amateur? Like, did you just kind of, when you mentioned getting thrown to the wolves, did you treat it a certain way? Did you treat it kind of like a professional career, or did you treat it again like it
I
just?
mean, to the best of my ability, I really had a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at home and trying to figure out. I was trying to start a business while working for a business, while boxing, while doing Muay Thai, while doing wrestling, while doing jujitsu, and I just did not
Hmm.
have my priorities straight. I was trying to figure out. I mean, actually, I wouldn't say I didn't have my priorities straight, but I think it was more of like a training ground, like you said, where I was just trying to
Hmm.
figure out what I liked, what's my niche, what are where do I want to go with stuff. Because as far as once the coach explained to me, he's like, "Listen, amateur losses don't mean a thing." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, then let's just fight whoever then." So
Right. Right.
if you look at the people that I lost to, like I said, also it's on box rec, but I think that's what the standings how they work. So I fought the number one in the United States in the amateurs. I fought the number eight.
Yep.
I fought the number six. I fought the number 20. I fought the number 13. I fought the like all of my like a lot of my, and then the only not ranked opponent that I lost to, I did a 15-pound weight cut the day of the fight because I had just won the tournament the month prior, and they were like, "Hey, can you come up and fight in this so you can kick an automatic bye to the finals? But you got to fight at this lower weight class." And I was like, "Okay." And it's not anyone's
Mhm.
fault but mine. I should have known better to cut 15 pounds in a
Right.
day.
Right.
But then I got there, drove 3 hours. I was like fighting, trying to stay awake the whole way down.
Mhm.
And I got there, weighed in. I was supposed to fight belt 13. I thought I'd have enough time to eat, replenish. They
Mhm.
moved me up to belt 2 or 3 and gave me. I'm getting my hands wrapped, and they're yelling.
Right.
They're yelling at me. Why aren't you in the ring? And I'm like, what is going on? Look at
Right.
the
Right.
whole bout sheet. I had no notice on the weight cut. It was just, and I walked in there like a zombie. To be honest,
Mhm.
it couldn't even. It was dried right out like a starfish, dude. Freaking.
Right. Right.
But not to make excuses, but I mean that's just I just tested myself. Okay, obviously I don't want to do the cutting weight thing. Okay, I don't want to do the cruiserweight division.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I
Yeah.
want to fight guys this size. I want to. It's just really just like figuring out how I want to go about my pro career. Really,
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
no, definitely. Like you kind of found out that, what works, what doesn't work. So you had some good takeaways, and I was gonna ask if you had any maybe goals for your amateur career, but it kind of sounds like you
Yeah,
just
I went
fought
to.
the
I
high.
wanted to win Golden Gloves. That was the only
Okay.
thing. I won Northerns a few times, but I lost in the all New England finals to actually a friend of mine, Macho, down in Massachusetts. We fought 3 rounds. He beat me by decision
Mm-hmm.
down in the finals in Lowell. But I mean, yeah, at the time he was ranked. I'm pretty sure he was ranked number one.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
You're right.
I don't take, and I'm just honestly just happy that that's how the amateur process works because it's a great opportunity for people to learn how to fight and then fight if they want to fight. And then if you want to make it your career, you have that time. It's kind of like I
Mm-hmm.
compare it to football where it was like that was my high school, college football.
Right.
Then now it's time to go pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a totally
Right.
different ball game, you know?
Right. And is there any fighter now that you're a professional? What are some shorter term goals that you've maybe set for yourself? Is there a specific name in the New England area that you want to pick a fight with, or is there just
For
maybe
New England, I don't really particularly care, to be honest, because
mm-hmm.
I think John Gruber. So I'm just treating this like a video game. I'm just looking at the
Right.
numbers and ranking. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
know why John was mad at me because I didn't have a problem with him. Like it was just
Right.
like
Right.
you're a number on the ranking. I want to move up in the charts in the on the video game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You have the number that I want. So I called him out, and then I looked at the rankings, and there's only one person above him. I
Mm-hmm.
called a promoter in New England, and I asked about him, and I said, "Can I fight this guy
Mm-hmm.
at Fenway?" Because they offered me a fight at Fenway, and then I was like, "No." So what I'll do is let me call this guy out, and they said he's retired. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Okay." So then doesn't that make me, you know what I mean, up there? So what?
Yeah.
I'm getting fight offers from all around the country, and I got a fight offer from a dude I guess who's Russian. Like I don't need to particularly. I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I don't I don't particularly need to fight anyone on the New England stage, but if I sign with a promoter and they want me to, then sure. If I don't sign with the promoter and I keep doing what I'm doing, then the sky's the limit, really, because I just choose my fate. The only thing that sucks is I don't have anyone to pay. Like I wanted to fight this guy who's way above me in the rankings again, but they said I had to pay $50,000 to have him fly overseas, and I'm like, dude, I cannot pay 50,000.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So, we kind of talked about, learning and figuring yourself out in your amateur career, but is there anything you may have learned so far in your pro career that makes you, question, maybe your ability or your technique that, maybe it's from a previous fight that you've had to go back and work on something, or, have you learned anything from your pro career so far?
yeah, it's definitely getting used to the fight night nerves. I think that's also
Mhm.
the place why if they think that you're gonna have a good career, like a long career, I feel like that's why they kind of put guys they know you're gonna beat in front of you because it's like they're trying to shake off the nerves of fight night and stuff like that, because there's a lot more pressure now when your money's on the line and it's your career, and boxing cares so much about having an O at the end of your record.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, there's a lot more that builds into the nerves. So I think I've had to develop just dealing with that, because it's, I mean, honestly, like I did decent in that fight down in Mass, but at the same time, like my shots were wide and loose, and that's not how I fight. I spar guys way better than that and have tighter shots, move better. I don't know. So it's just kind of getting used to dealing with fighting with the nerves, and then translating what you do every day in training to fight night. I think that's the biggest thing with me, because I know the type of fighter that I'm, like, athletically, and I know where my boxing IQ is, and I just know that I'm very talented. It's just getting over the when you're, your legs shut off and you're nervous and you're shaky. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Do you have another fight lined up, or you is it still in the works?
I'm trying. So right now, I just fought through an injury last fight with something I did not even from boxing, and so I'm letting
Hmm.
that heal. And I've been talking to a promoter about possibly taking some fights for them, and then
Hmm.
depending on how that goes, I'll let them announce that. And if I don't sign with them, then I probably am gonna line something up myself for September. Is what my goal is, fight September. Unless
Hmm.
I've been getting some offers that I didn't expect to get. So if there's someone that puts the right amount of money on the table, then maybe I'll fight earlier than that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to change gears here. So you served in the United States Army, I
Yeah.
believe,
I was just in the reserves
just
though.
in the reserves. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, what encouraged you to join the armed, the reserves, and how does it kind of help you, because you do have a family military history. Your grandfather was in the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Yep. A few different wild ones. Yep.
Right. So how does that contribute to your journey in combat sports? And I just want to hear the story of you being in the military, and just how it kind of led you or helped lead you on this path of being a fighter.
Um. Honestly, directly is one of the biggest reasons I'm a fighter, but not for the reasons that I guess would be suspected. I
Hmm.
would assume, because I mean, it was literally just people I met. I had been thinking about it for a long time, and then the people that I met when I was there really gave me the belief to do it. One of them was Tezwan Starlings. He's an 11-0 boxer out of South Carolina right now. He's
Hmm.
10 knockouts. He's going to be, everyone's going to know his name within the next few years, guarantee that. And then my friend Christian Leon, it's another Leon, another big Leon in my life.
Hmm.
He's from Tijuana, Mexico. He moved to San Diego. He's been up and down Cali. He's an MMA fighter out there, and both of them really helped me out with a lot while I was out there in Mississippi when I met them. And they kind of directly gave me that instant push to get me into this. My goal when I got back from Mississippi, I was gonna go to America Top Team, go to join the classes, and then try to build up from the classes and make it to the sparring or whatever, the pro fighters. That was like, and then someone
Hmm.
saw me running on the side of the road and they introduced me to my boxing coach. So it all kind of was like a trickle effect.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But I don't know. The army and I had a weird relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So your grandfather, he was an escort for was it the men who raised the flag on Iwo Jima?
He wasn't. Yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't say particularly an escort, but his unit and his platoon specifically, his their job was basically like everyone else during whatever warfare was going on, clearing trenches, clearing tunnels,
Hmm.
because there was a lot of tunnel warfare on that battle.
Yep.
But he also, at one point in the battle, was told to, when they were going up to put the flag up, anyone that they saw firing at them to just shoot, basically. So security, I wouldn't say escort, but
Yeah.
from a distance. I mean, like, yeah, he was their cover fire per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So kind of hearing, knowing his story and being,
Yeah.
a descendant of someone like that, does that really drive you to be the best? I mean, be just a warrior in the ring. I mean, that's a pretty crazy, like him being your grandfather. That's a crazy life in itself. So does that kind of
Yeah, it definitely
encourage
creeps
you?
in my head sometimes. Like he did that when he was like 16. Like he left when he was 16. So I don't know
Hmm.
when that battle occurred in his lifetime. It might have been so World War II. I mean, he could have been in between 16 and 22 at the time, and he had done a lot of stuff. He had also gone and got he ran out with no weapons to go get radio tech and stuff like that. So I just think about stuff like that all the time, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to a fight in an arena and I'm getting paid stuff, you know what I mean? Like every
Yeah,
time I get
right.
worried, I'm like, it was never really about my safety that I get worried. It's more just about like failure and letting people down. So once I get over that, I'm like, dude, my grandfather was doing way tougher stuff when he was my,
Right. So it's
yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
like a yeah, so it's
yeah,
kind of like he was getting shot at,
yeah,
I'm taking shots but in a different way,
yeah, I guess, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
He took
no.
way more than me. I'll tell you that.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah,
definitely an encouraging, you know, for that to be your grandfather. It's super encouraging.
yeah,
And yeah. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me and can't wait to see you fight again.
yes, sir. I'll let you know when the next one is. Hopefully, it's September, but it might be earlier. So,
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much and let's change some gears.
yes,
Bye.
sir. Have a good one.